One of the um, stories in my book, Justice Gone Haywire, the Alice Crimmins case, was especially interesting to me. I think because one of the books written about the case, a case called it's called the Alice Crimmins case by Ken Gross, really got you close to Alice Crimmins as a person. Now, the two major books are The Alice Crimmins Case by Ken Gross and Ordeal by Trial by George Capozzi Jr. These have major differences. One of them is that Gross's book is biased in favor of her being innocent. Capozzi's book is more objective and kind of biased in favor of her being guilty, although he concludes that he doesn't know whether she is guilty or not. In addition, Gross's book, though, gets you a lot closer to Alice Crimmins, whereas Capozzi's book gets you a lot closer to the investigators. So each of them has the strengths and the weaknesses. But one thing about Alice Crimmins' personality or her aptitudes and talents was that she had an aptitude that my Aunt Vada always assumed that I had, but I didn't. She had secretarial aptitude, or I guess these days a lot of times it would be called administrative assistant aptitude. Okay, because my aunt used to really push hard on me becoming a secretary, even though it was very ill-suited to my personality and my intellectual aptitudes. She just got stuck on it. And that's something that tends to happen with some people. They just don't look at your individual aptitudes. They just get stuck on the idea that you should do this. But anyway, Alice Crimmins did have secretarial aptitude. Remember Ken Gross saying she could type with speed and file with care. Her boss had to tell her to do something once, and it was done to perfection. See, and that's a secretary's mind. That's an administrative assistant's mind. She was told to do something once, and it was done to perfection. You have to have that type of mind that is not absent-minded, but that has a grasp of a short-term memory grasp that can grasp, day-to-day things and grasp them easly. Alice Crimmins herself said, "I never had any formal lessons, but I pick things up." And there again, that's the mind of a good secretary. I pick things up. Okay, and she even kind of taught herself her own shorthand system. She also had one of the best aptitudes or talents for a secretary or administrative assistant, and that was she could anticipate needs. She's thinking about what the boss wants, what the boss needs, anticipating it. Okay, and that's not what's up here. And it's kind of odd that my Aunt Vada assumed it was there, even though it was not. And even she assumed it was there even when she had evidence that it was not. She got very upset with me when I put a dress that she had made. I wore a dress once and put it in the laundry. Okay, the reason I developed this habit of wearing something once and then putting it in the laundry was because my mother had complained to me that I was wearing things until they smelled bad, because I couldn't remember how often I'd worn something. And my Aunt Vada was just really, really offended because she had, sewn this pretty dress for me. And she complained to somebody that I had dropped it like it was a piece of trash. And I explained to her that, the reason I did that was I got in the habit of doing that so that I wouldn't wear them too often, because my mother had complained that, I was wearing my clothes until they smelled bad. And my Aunt Veda said, "You're not that absent-minded." Unfortunately, she didn't live with me. Otherwise, she would have known how absent-minded I was. But it was kind of one of those things where she didn't want me to be absent-minded, therefore I wasn't absent-minded. Anyway, that is one thing about Alice.